Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where we talk about skincare, grooming and sometimes hair, so if that sounds like your thing, make sure you are subscribed. Also, come and follow me on Instagram where I post a lot of stuff you're not going to see here on YouTube. We've all made mistakes, we've all made skincare mistakes before. It's how we learn, it's how we improve our routine, it's how we know there are certain things and products we shouldn't really use for our skin. But today I want to share some of the skincare mistakes that I've made, probably skincare mistakes that we've all made, not only the mistakes, how to stop making these mistakes and how to fix any problems that may arise from these mistakes. Let's just get right into it. I want to start with a really obvious one, but I got a cool little hack for you towards the end. And that is not reapplying sunscreen. I am speaking to my best friends right now, and half the people I see on my Instagram stories who spend the day sunbathing morning to night, constantly out in the sun. I'll message my best friend and I'll be like, Richard, are you wearing sunscreen? He's like, yes. I'm like, are you reapplying? He's like, no, I put sunscreen on this morning. And I'm talking to him, it's like 4 p.m. and he's been out in the garden all day or out in a field sunbathing. You need to reapply sunscreen. You need to reapply it every 2 hours if you're out sunbathing like Richard. Everywhere, that's all over your body. If you're inside, it's a bit of a different story. It depends how much light's coming through. You can be less diligent, but I do get that it's annoying to reapply your sunscreen. It is a bit of a faff, it's a bit of a hassle. Also carrying around that big tube of sunscreen. Not a lot of brands do mini sample sizes of my favorite sunscreen, so it gets a little bit messy, but here's a little tip that I learned. I learned this from Dr Liv here on YouTube. She's a board certified dermatologist. She has a great YouTube channel. She not only talks about skincare products, skincare myths, but she also talks about diet for your skin, which I know is something I get asked a lot about on here, but I am not the person to be asking about diets. But I picked up a really good tip from her channel. So you don't have to carry around a huge tube of sunscreen in your bag. What you can do, I think this is so good. What you can do is get one of these little contact lens cases. And what you do is you put your favorite sunscreen in those little bits, and in there you basically have the perfect amount of sunscreen for a reapplication of your face and neck. So every couple of hours, take out your little contact lens case, reapply, and you can pile these up in your bag. Like I've had times where I've taken out 4 of these and they still take up no room, they're not heavy, and it's lasted me throughout a whole day. I thought that was such a good idea. I've got loads of these now. I just think it's genius. The next mistake a lot of us make, and I've made recently, is not patch testing your skincare products. I don't do this anymore, and I've dealt with the repercussions. Patch testing is simply taking a bit of the product, small amount of the product, pea-sized amount of product, putting it behind your ear, leaving it for 48 hours, seeing if you've had a reaction or not. I personally like to put it behind the ear because it's where the product gets less bothered. You don't spend your day wiping behind your ears, I hope. So it can just nestle in there and you forget about it. It's great to do for new actives that you're using, or even if you find yourself getting very sensitized easily. I've shared recently that I had a very bad reaction to a particular ingredient, which I should have patch tested, but I got cocky. So there's no real technique here to help you patch test other than just doing it, just patch test. But I do want to share a tip with you that really saved my irritated skin after not patch testing. You know when you get that itchiness, that dryness, that real irritation, you try so hard not to scratch or pick at your skin. Sometimes when my skin is really itchy, I will just like put my fingernail on it and rub. I know that's really bad, but that's what I do, I have to be honest. One thing that stopped me going crazy and scratching off my skin is this little cooling massager. You can get these everywhere, but what I like about this one is you don't have to put it in the fridge. You don't have to put it in the freezer. It constantly stays cold. I don't know how it works, but when I had my irritation, it was with me at all times. And what I would do, any patch of irritation or itchy feeling I got, I just gently pushed that massager onto that area, left it, and it would instantly soothe and calm my skin. You can, of course, use ice, but sometimes that's too cold and it can damage your skin. It's wet and annoying and messy, so having a little tool like this is super convenient. I think this was like $10 maybe. I'll check. I'll leave links down below. But even if you just get areas of irritation easily, this is such a good little tool to have at hand. The next mistake is kind of like a kind of thing, more of like a myth, and that is that you shouldn't keep your products in the bathroom. I get asked this a lot, and it really does depend on what product you're talking about. So the idea is that the consistent changing of heat and humidity in a bathroom, go from hot to cold, steaminess of the bathroom is going to interfere with the formulation of your product. If you look at the back of the packaging of most skincare products, it usually recommends that you keep it in room temperature. I don't know what that is. Mild. But a lot of skincare is tested to withstand a lot of up and down temperatures. We do know that exposure to light can destroy some vitamin A's and vitamin C's and other ingredients, but heat can actually do the same. These are the types of products that should stay out of your bathroom. They should be put in a drawer, in their packaging, in the dark. What you may not want to be doing is having open products in your bathroom. So products in a tub, really. Tubs in products are made to withstand dipping your fingers in. They got preservatives in for a reason. What a lot of them may not be made for or be able to go up against is adding moisture and literal water into your products, especially if you prefer the cleaner natural stuff and your product doesn't have preservatives in, which is gross. So if you're getting all that steamy condensation in there, you can potentially ruin the shelf life and the product. It could become a breeding ground for bacteria. I personally hate doing my skincare routine in the bathroom anyway. You don't want to be like constantly humid and hot whilst you're doing it, or steamy. I like to mainly apply a toner in the bathroom, then get out and apply the rest of my routine. So the way I avoid this is I just don't do my skincare in the bathroom. But what I find really does help is if you have an area like a vanity where you can just sit and make an occasion of doing your skincare routine. Whether it's like a side desk, a side table, bookshelf, make an area where you can display your products and enjoy using them. I left this one to the last because this is going to turn into a little bit of a rant. But this is kind of a 2-in-1. Stop judging products simply by reading the ingredient list. I'll come to that in a minute. And stop using websites like EWG and Think Dirty to determine what products you do and don't buy. We've talked about this before. They are a mess. For those who don't know, Think Dirty, EWG, CosDNA, Skin Charisma are all websites where you can find nearly every skincare product. Amongst them, where you can get a breakdown of all the ingredients in that product. The websites will give each ingredient a rating, usually of 1 to 10, 1 being safe, low risk, 10 being dangerous, toxic, and harmful. These websites are an okayish guide if you're looking for products with a certain ingredient in that you're allergic to, or maybe you loved an ingredient that worked really, really well for your skin and you want to see what other products had that ingredient in. They're a good basis to go off. Their ingredient lists aren't always 100% accurate as well. However, a lot of people use these websites to judge a product and whether they're going to buy it or not, solely based on what the EWG says is a harmful ingredient. However, these ratings are often based off misinformation, studies that they've read incorrectly, also whilst not taking into consideration the formulation as a whole, how the ingredients play together. So that's why you cannot just look at the back of the ingredient list and think, oh crap, that has alcohol in it, I'm not going to use it. And that's the kind of behavior that I feel these websites encourage. The amount of people that avoid denatured alcohol because they think it's going to dry them out or kill skin cells, it's insane. Because of websites like this, even if that product is in a thick, occlusive, emollient, heavy moisturizer, they see denatured alcohol and they're like, it's going to dry me out. That's an example. One thing you'll notice as well whilst browsing EWG is that some products are EWG verified. According to their website, the EWG verified mark on a product indicates that the product meets EWG's strictest standards for transparency and health. Also, these products avoid EWG's ingredients of concern. You would think that to be verified, your products would have to have all low risk ingredients, so the green numbers ingredients in your skincare product. This isn't the case. Let's take a look at an example. Just the Goods vegan perfume oil, Spicy Nights. Ooh. This has citrus oil, cinnamon, and ylang ylang oil in it. 3 out of 5 ingredients are considered moderate risk, yet it's EWG verified. Yet you have the Cosrx Galactomyces Balancing Essence, has no moderate risk ingredients, all low risk ingredients. Shouldn't that be verified as safe over products with those moderate risks? I find that a bit weird. So what the fuck does EWG verified actually mean? Not a lot looking at this. These brands can literally buy their way into being clean beauty. They also rate products as hazardous or moderate because some of those ingredients are labeled as potential allergens. A lot of things are potential allergens. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to have a reaction to them. So to mark them as moderate to hazardous is misleading, it's fear-mongering, it's shit. And of course, all these apps say that things like parabens are hazardous too. In my opinion, a product without parabens in is way more hazardous. They aren't all trustworthy, and whilst they don't all use the same rating system, they all kind of base their research off the same things. So I'm not saying to completely avoid this, but stop letting these websites dictate what you buy because there's like a red ingredient in your skincare. It's usually misinformation, it's usually fear-mongering, it's a lot of misread and misinterpreted studies and findings. Rant over. So those are the mistakes that we're making when it comes to our skincare routines and skincare in general. Let me know if you're guilty of any of these. I'm guilty of all of these. But that's it from me now, guys. I will see you next time.